Hey fam, I want you to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Roland S. Martin. And don't forget to turn on your notifications. Because some of y'all black people have really pushed the line. White people do this stuff too, but I don't know. Okay, so this photo, okay, went around social media, and the caption said, grades dropped from A's to F's. Parents, y'all agree with this? Now, apparently, some black parents are using social media to shame their children. But it's not just black parents. You got white parents also making their kids hold signs, my dumb ass flunked, and stuff along those lines. But a lot of these times we see these stories, it's some black parents are using public humiliation. The question for y'all, is it a good idea? I mean, the George Jefferson haircut was like, that was rough. But what do you think?
Absolutely not. And in the piece, it mentioned something about a village, and I think that because there is a real lean into posting without really kind of critical consideration, that these are the kind of outputs that we get. But in the time that I grew up, there were a village of people, being my grandparents, aunts, and uncles, that could, you know, at a time that my parents were going to chastise or punish me, have that type of conversation as to kind of like what would be the best course, especially when they were very, very heated. But this is too much. They really need.
Yeah, and I think this is the social media era that we're in. You know, I remember growing up when I decided to cut my own hair with a razor, and my mother, instead of taking me to the barber, told me to go. I'm gonna go right on to school.
Let your ass walk around with it.
She let me walk right on around with it. But I have no doubt that my mother, even now, would never post that on social media. And I think that that's part of what the problem is. You know, I don't think it's fair to.
So what you're saying is, do the haircut, don't post it.
Right. Yeah,
so you saying you cool with, don't put it back.
Oh, no,
you
no,
fine with
and
the
I take that
haircut,
back.
just don't post it.
But I take the haircut.
I take that back. In my case, I cut my own hair.
Okay, got it.
I don't even understand.
Eric, go ahead.
I think it's kind of like a millennial extension of like the system that was in place before it. Like, you know, my dad had no problem coming up to the school if I was acting up and embarrassing me in front of the whole class. I feel like this is just like another extension of that, but just kind of like in the millennial age. But I think it is possible to go too far. Like, she could mess up his hairline for the rest of his life. Like, I think there are
It'll grow back. Your ass ain't right for that. Go ahead, Eric, you ain't right for that. She worried about his future damn hairline. Okay. Monique, go ahead.
The haircut itself is cruel, and probably not the most suitable form of trying to get a child to correct poor performance in school, to put them in a case where they're going to be shamed day after day after day and perhaps perform even worse. And you really don't want fear-based good performing in school either. But then to post it on social media opens up your children to a level of public ridicule and danger.
Right.
And people posting their children a lot on social media, I talk about that anyway, because they're just really sick people out here who find out way too much information from social media. But I don't think it's just social media shaming. I think if they had done it and took them in front of the church, or done it and took them in front of an entire convention, it still would be an embarrassment and shaming. And my parents really did believe in correction going on inside of the home.
Right.
And if I did something wrong, that was my behind.
Right.
If my daddy had to get off work to come to that school, I'm with you.
Right.
It was going to be a situation. But children are humans. They're smaller humans. They're not objects. They're not owned because we have the gift and the blessing to be able to raise them. So I try to treat my children like they actually have a spirit inside them, the spirit of the living God, and the way that I respond to them goes along with me recognizing that I was put here in order to cover and care for them. So I don't do things.
Y'all done. Y'all done.
Well, I
Brother
was just
Presley
saying,
over there.
Monique's point about the danger piece is that then we have seen that there has been an uptick in suicide among young black children.
Yep.
And so
Bullying.
because everything, exactly, and so because social media has an infinite life, that this would definitely, this is not a way that you would actually correct a child.
Let me be real clear, okay? Your ass have all A's. and you go to all F's, stand in my house, jacking your ass up. See, I just firmly believe you got to lay down some rules. Like, so for instance, when two of my nieces, we were in Chicago, and they decided they didn't want to bring their homework home. And so I said, okay, here's the deal. I said, if you don't bring your homework, I'm going to whoop your ass. Now, some of y'all out there, y'all probably say, oh, I don't believe in corporal punishment. That's your damn business, but you ain't in my house. And so my niece, I said, now, repeat it back to me. If you don't bring your homework, they said, we gonna get a whooping. I said, no, I'm gonna beat your ass. Repeat it after me. And so then what happened? Next day, one of my nieces did not bring her homework home. I said, you ain't bring your homework home? She said, no. I said, do you recall the conversation we had yesterday? What's gonna happen? You don't bring your homework home? She says, yeah. What's gonna happen? She says, I'm gonna catch a whipping. Precisely. I'll be right back. So then they were all, they howling and screaming. I ain't really feel like hearing all that. Because the bottom line is, I told you, little ass, what was going to happen because you decided to be your own grown-ass person in middle school, and you didn't want to bring your homework home. Now, here was a trip. Their younger sisters, who were twins at the time, they were like 7. I could hear them. No, they were like 4. I could hear them in the bathtub going, Uncle Roro told them they bring their homework home, they going to catch a whooping. I don't know what they were thinking. See, they were figuring that out. See, I get we are sitting here saying, well, no, we don't want to embarrass the kids. But here's the other deal. We got some kids who think they little ass is grown. We got some kids who want to act a fool because you done sitting here, spent money, raising them, clothing them, feeding them, trying to do the right thing, and they little bad asses want to do something different when it comes to the classroom. Now, I don't know if I would have gone as far with the George Jefferson haircut, but if a kid acted a fool, I ain't got a problem making their ass stay on the corner holding a sign that said, I fail all my classes because I was sitting here being bad. It's just like when you have somebody say, no, you're going to walk your behind home. Here's what I also understand. You remember being embarrassed, and you don't necessarily want to go through that experience again. You remember acting a fool. Say, I ain't down with grounding. I'm going to take your phone. No. I need you to feel this thing. And I just think part of the problem is we got some soft-ass parents out here, and we got some soft kids out here who want to play games. The deal is this here. You got finite years to get your stuff together in school. We ain't got time for games, and there's a whole bunch of black parents out here who been busting their behind, providing for their kids. Now, figure out what's going on, how'd you go from A to F. Now, some of y'all out there saying, oh, it could be something in the home, it could be psychological, it could be something they're going through. But let's also be real honest. We got some kids who choose to make some dumbass decisions. You might have a good home, everything's taken care of, but they want to be bratty. And sometimes you got to push the envelope when you're dealing with some bratty kids. So I'm not necessarily going to say you should not publicly shame your child. You should think about it. You should really consider it. But if it gets your child's attention and that little boy decides to make A's next semester, sound to me like that embarrassment helps. And if you disagree, fine. Send me an email, make a video. I'll play it tomorrow. If you disagree with spanking, agree with it as well. But even though my nieces are grown, I whoop their ass right now. Don't act a fool. Don't act a fool. Because, see, my daddy is 72. He'll be 72 in April. I'm 50. I'm still scared of his ass. I saw his forearms. I'm like, I ain't messing with that Negro because he's crazy. See, fear still works at 50. Daddy put the fear in me when I was about 5. It's been there for 45 years. So I disagree when they say fear don't work. Love to hear your thoughts, folks. All right, folks, back to our Roland Mark Unfiltered video in just one moment. All right, folks, of course, 2019, it is March, and we're getting close, of course, to beach season. It's almost time. I don't know, because in D.C., I know if I got one more day, I got to wear fleece and scarves and hats and gloves and wool. I'm going to have to cuss somebody out. But a lot of us are getting ready, of course, for the spring and the summer, and we're trying to get ourselves healthy, well, looking good, feeling good. And, of course, that means dropping some weight. And one of the ways you can do so is trying the Dherbs Full Body Cleanse. They have 27 different cleanses that you can try in order for you to remove the toxicity from your body. A lot of the fried foods, processed food that we love, well, this is one way for you to also remove that and get you some energy back and stop dragging your behind around. Now, again, you want to lose those stubborn pounds, you can go to Dherbs.com. That's Dherbs.com. Use the promo code Roland when you check out. You can also call 1-866-4-DHERBS, 1-866-4-DHERBS, using the promo code Roland. I've tried it 3 different times, and it's pretty good, and so worked out well for me, and it can also work out well for you. And so we certainly appreciate Dherbs, Black-owned company, being one of the partners here at Roland Martin Unfiltered. Now back to your Roland Martin Unfiltered video.